This episode is brought to you by Loot Crate. Would you classify yourself as a geek, gamer, or pop culture nerd? Then this is the subscription box for you. For less than $20 a month, you get 6 to 8 items of gamer and pop culture licensed gear, apparel, collectibles, unique one-of-a-kind items, and more. Make sure you head to lootcrate.com/kindafunny and enter the offer code kindafunny to save $3 on a new subscription today. Not that long ago, and depending on where you live not so far away, Loot Crate blasted off into a voyage across the galaxy, searching the far reaches of space to find universally awesome gear. Using December's Star Wars The Force Awakens loot as a launch pad, we landed on some equally cosmic items from Halo 5 and more. With an exclusive Funko Pop and an exclusive shirt in this month's crate, this is the loot you're looking for. Remember, you only have until the 19th at 9 p.m. Pacific to subscribe and receive that month's crate, and when the cutoff happens, Jack, that's it. It's over. So go to lootcrate.com/kindafunny and enter the offer code kindafunny to save $3 on your new subscription today. What's your topic, Mike?
What game do you want to play that doesn't exist yet? What is a game? If you could craft the experience, like the topic, what type of game it is, and want to play it, what is that game?
Bless you. Don't, you know,
Wants to bless people.
Kevin's
it's great. Such a good game. Both Greg and Colin want it.
Religion's the
I mean, so here's the thing. Let's put parameters on this because it's the GameOverGreggy show. And we have to put parameters on everything.
Sure.
Okay.
Can it be like can I say Pokemon MMO? Or are we just like creating a brand new
It's
thing?
whatever you want. It's something that hasn't been made yet or is old and hasn't been revisited, but something
Okay.
that you would drop everything and play right now.
Because my thing is Pokemon MMO. I think
Yes.
that is the one thing that I can get into.
That's the gold mine Nintendo's sitting on that they will never touch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I would actually invest in that and put way too much time into
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
There's no other online game that I could really be like, I'm going to actually do this. Like, I'll play for like a week and be over it. A Pokemon game, I'll play, finish it, and be done.
Mm-hmm.
But a Pokemon MMO, I want to invest in that. I want to just live in that. And I want it to be on the NX.
X.
But I do want mobile functionality.
This is what we do. X is going to give it to you.
All right.
NX.
Yeah. I want mobile functionality on it so that I can like do things even when I'm not, at home.
So what does that
or
mean
with whatever.
exactly?
I don't know. And I'd want it to be, I mean, even if it's just like random fights or whatever.
The
just on
EV
phone.
training would be its own app.
That's
on your
good.
phone.
Yes. Any form of training, any form of just like grindy shit, I want on my phone.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I agree.
Yeah,
It's cool.
Okay.
Solid answer.
Mike, what I want you to do is read number 3 there.
Games I want on Vita.
Yeah, that's right. I have a list. Because there's a lot of things that aren't happening on Vita that need to be fucking on Vita. Because I'm traveling a lot again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I break out the Vita, and one of the best fucking pieces of hardware of all time. And I'm sitting there, and there's games on it I want to play, for sure. But none of them are like nailing it. You know, particularly you are just sliding away.
I mean, they haven't made Crash Bandicoot on Vita.
Exactly.
Yet, so.
There's that problem, of course. And then there's just games I want. So here's some things I want in Vita, all right? I have it here. A good wrestling game.
Mm-hmm.
I've given up on the 2K coming back to the Vita, bringing the WWE games. And even if they did, what they always try to do, is port the exact experience over. And that's not going to work. We saw it on PSP a million times with these SmackDown versus Raw. Tim knows what I'm talking
I know
about.
exactly.
He played the shit out of these SmackDown versus Raw
bootlegged the
PSPs.
shit out of those games, yes.
What I want to know is whatever happened, why Fire Pro Wrestling? So many people I'd argue with them that they would say Fire Pro Wrestling, this is the best wrestling game of all time, these different things. I'd say, of course, No Mercy. We get into a whole thing. Some people say WrestleMania 2000. You know how it goes.
WCW versus NWO on N64.
And that's the whole thing. If we're talking about an AKI game, we're right there. Same engine, I'm fine with it. That's a bad answer, but it's a fine.
No, it's a
great
great
what I mean? I got No Mercy right up there. I got 2 copies of it. But why not take Fire Pro Wrestling and put it over there? You know what I mean? Why? Because remember when GBA launched, it launched with that wrestling game. And it wasn't a WWE one, it wasn't a WCW, it was just a wrestling game. We're overthinking it too much. And I thought for a while there maybe the salvation would be 5-Star Wrestling. Remember them? Coming to PS3. They're working on the PS4 game. Where's the Vita game? Where the hell is the Vita wrestling game? Because it should be easy. You make it 8-bit, 16-bit, whatever the hell it is. You put it out there.
How many bits you need?
And why the hell isn't everybody
wrestling game?
Huh?
An 8-bit like pro wrestling you want?
Yeah, I'm saying, I'm just
Starman?
I'm throwing options out there. I'm not saying
Amazon?
it needs to be that. What I want, of course, is just somebody to fucking make No Mercy again, or whatever you want, or WCW and Revenge. Just make it again. The exact same system, same graphic style, put it out. Everybody loves that game. Why is no one really trying? 5-Star Wrestling's trying. I'll give it to them there. Get it on Vita, though. Number 2. A good football game. Same thing here.
Touch base on all the sports.
You know, I'm same thing. I don't need Madden tried once half-heartedly, and then we're it didn't sell, so we're not going to make any more. Well, you fucked it up and you didn't do it right. What they should do, of course, is make Madden talk to each other. I send the thing back and forth, saves. I'm all set. They're not going to do that. Fine. Just make another. What's Vince McMahon doing with the XFL fucking license? Blitz, sure, whatever. Put it on there. Yeah. Just get me a goddamn fucking football or wrestling game on the go.
What about a football wrestling game?
Oh my god.
What if we just combine all the sports so we don't have to worry about sports games anymore?
Yeah, like just a sports game on the Vita.
I don't like the tone either you're taking.
No, it's going to be all of them. I'm into it. It'll be like Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
What about
like a hybrid?
I like the Snoopy ones back in the day, too.
Snoopy's
There's
cool.
a Snoopy Olympics game.
Yeah, the Tiny Toons one. It had all the sports.
Yeah.
Okay. Mario Golf. All right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
These aren't. These aren't game. The topic was like, wasn't it the topic?
Yeah, a game that hasn't been made yet that you want to exist.
I'm laying them out right now. What I want to exist right now are the games I'm talking about.
Yeah. But it sounds like you want games you've played before, but in a portable version.
No. See, you're being unfair to me. And I don't like it one bit either. Because what I want, I'm not going to. Am I supposed to invent a new game?
Yes.
That's crazy. I'm not talented enough to do that. What do you mean? I want a stick man who can bend the time. I don't know. Like,
you've talked about your Superman.
Diamond Dogs.
But there's been Superman games before, so that doesn't count. See, this is the argument I'm making.
No, I know, but like, what is the Superman game you want? Like, I think that's the question.
Well, I just pitched you a great wrestling game I want on Vita that would probably save the Vita and make 1 million copies be sold.
Does it need to be licensed, or you just mean like a wrestling?
No, it doesn't need to be licensed at all. That's what I'm saying.
All of that pass.
Thank you very much. That's what I'm saying is, let's not get hung up on up here. Let's get down here and just make a fucking wrestling game that's good.
An answer to this question that I have that is no longer relevant because they made it, but I never thought that they would, is a 3D Mario game that's obstacle based instead of like collecting stars and shit. So 3D Land and 3D World, those where they play more like the 2D games, and like it's just get to the end of the level. That's the challenge, which is like Crash Bandicoot, and why I fucking love Crash Bandicoot. I never thought they'd actually do it, and they did. So shout out to you, Nintendo, for doing shit fucking
making dreams come true
since forever until forever, right, Colin?
Oh yeah, Nintendo's killing it.
Yeah.
GG Nintendo.
With their 10 million unit selling hardware, very impressive. I think that I had ideas when I first started IGN many years ago to do an American Revolutionary War turn-based strategy game that I really wanted to do in the style of like Final Fantasy Tactics, because that's one of my favorite games.
Cool.
So like Tactics or Tactics Ogre, but like some sort of like alternate history, like weird spin to it where there could be spells and there's like, but it takes place in like colonial America. I always thought that would be cool. Like some sort of resource management game as well. Very Tactics-like. In its depth, because I think that it's just one of those games where I can't imagine. Tactics Ogre, Let Us Cling Together was really like the last game of that kind that even came out, and that was years ago now. So something of that nature. I can't believe that they haven't like annualized Tactics at this point. I don't know what the fuck they're doing over there at Square with that game.
Tactical games in general are missing constantly.
Yeah, they are. And people,
it's pretty much Fire Emblem.
Yeah, Fire Emblem, which I think is I played the new Fire Emblem, what was Awakening on 3DS, and I'm just not into it. I'm like, this is not nearly as good as like Tactics, not even remotely as good. And then they have things like Disgaea, which is like
too anime.
Like it's so weird, like XCOM. 1,000,000,000,000,000 trillion hit points, and like I'm like, XCOM, but again, not what I'm looking like. People out there know exactly what I'm looking for, and I can't believe that they're just letting this die on the vine like this, like this fucking excellent formula they had.
But I mean, I feel like there must be a business reason why. Like they must not be selling, because they did try with Tactics, I think, pretty hard, and like
what Advanced and Advanced 2?
Yeah, with R2 or whatever the fuck, and like it was on PSP and on Advanced and all that stuff. Like,
I think that War of the Lions was just a retranslation, so that was fine. My theory is that those games are actually really expensive to make because they're beautiful. Like they're not 2.5D. They're pixels, and a lot of it's some of it's hand drawn and stuff like that. So I think that the aesthetic is part of the reason that it's so good. When we think about Bloodstained, which is Iga's new game, like that's not even like, we were playing Symphony of the Night a few weeks ago when we were streaming, which is one of my favorite games of all time. And I was talking to, I think, Kevin about, we were just talking about the game, and I'm like, you have to understand, this is one of the most beautiful games ever made. Like still to this day, like the amount of detail into the pixel art in that game is insane, but it's really expensive and really hard to make that shit. And it's a reason why games like Cosmic Star Heroine and some of these new games that are using that style are taking so long, I think, because it's just easier to make a 2.5D game, which is why like Mighty Number 9, which I'm like losing all my faith in as time goes on, is 2.5D, and that's why it's really not a true Mega Man game in my mind. But the game that I would want to make, speaking of that, I mean, we've talked about it before, is I want to write a Mega Man game, and I want to write a Mega Man reboot like so bad, and that's the game that I would want more than anything. I think Greg has theories that Capcom Vancouver's working on something like that, and maybe they are, but that's what I would want is a realistic, totally ridiculous Mega Man reboot, open world game, combining Mega Man 1 and Mega Man 2. And I love the idea for people that don't heard or haven't heard or whatever. Like I just have this vision of doing 2 first and then 1. So the idea is that these 8 robots appear. No one really knows like where they came from. Wily obviously made them, but they don't know that yet. But then Wily had also reprogrammed the original robots that they all made. So you have to like go to the TV studio, like the TV station in the city, and fight Flashman, who's taking it over. You go like to the botanical gardens and fight Woodman. But you can like do things in like any order, and it would be fucking awesome. But I have like a really brutal vision for it. Like I want it to be like, it's robots, but like I want it to be gory and bloody and like realistic and dark. Like I think it would be really.
I mean, like, have you ever heard any of Mega Ran's songs where he talks about like the origin stories of the characters? Like they drowned and he saved him. Like Wily's a mad genius and he's actually helping them, but he's making them evil. Some sort of twisted back and like that.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, actually, it's Mega Ran's song Wily that uses the Mega Man 2 Castle music that really tells us better story than the actual games themselves about how Wily turns on light and how he's just jealous of light and stuff like that. So it would be cool to be able to flesh that out. Yeah.
Agreed.
So those are my 2 ideas of things I'd like to see. I just think that the American Revolution specifically, or colonial America, is just like an underused time, and you could easily meld magic. Like even if you went back to the 17th century to and early 18th century witch trials and stuff like that, like you can mix some magic and arcane shit with like realistic musket fire and realistic trade and all that kind of stuff to make a game that's like that fuses like supernatural elements with what actually happened, and I think it would be fun. That's cool. But I don't know if people would play it. My vision for it was on DS back in the day. It could be on Vita.
Thank you very much.
All that matters.
I also want a Western RPG on Vita. Thank you.
We just put every game.
What do you
on
guys
Vita.
got?
You can go first.
I guess I'll go. This might sound a little biased since I'm a photographer, but VR Pokemon Snap. Some sort of Snap game, even if it's not Pokemon, even though that would be rad because everyone loved Pokemon Snap back in the way.
Was amazing,
so essentially, we would want that. I don't know how Nintendo would go because Nintendo, I don't know if they've really touched the VR route. But just some sort of game like that. Could be dinosaurs, could be, I don't know, some sort of creatures. But
It could be dinosaurs. I hope it's dinosaurs.
I hope
My
it's
vote's for dinosaurs.
Yeah, so somebody get on that because that would be rad.
Yeah, the Pokemon Snap it's a very interesting thing. Like I loved it back in the day just because of what it was, but everyone wants a sequel now. Like VR sounds like a really cool way to go from it, but like just a straight up sequel, I don't know if that would like
if it was just,
tickle anyone's real fancy.
No,
because it's not that deep of a game. I'm about to get a lot of hate for saying that, but I mean it is what it is.
No.
But even without VR, like the Wii U gamepad could have made that cool if it was like that fake VR stuff, But I like where your head's at.
This is why Invisimals was such a hit on PSP.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Colin, do you remember Invisimals?
Yeah, of course I do. I remember Invisibles is also on Vita.
Yeah, but PSP's where it shines.
Sure.
But as a photographer, what would you put in the game then? Like, what would the gameplay be?
I don't know. Maybe instead of, because in Pokemon Snap you like rode around on a cart or whatever, maybe it would be more open world. You could wander around and I don't know, there would be certain creatures that you search for that are worth more points and stuff like that.
Exploration based.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So
if like adjust the aperture and shit.
I mean, if you want to really get into it,
is you got a DSLR and you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Exactly.
I like that.
There could be a darkroom minigame.
Oh yeah,
because it's an old school camera.
Oh okay.
We don't want any of this digital stuff. All right, we want it to be there. It's out of focus. You don't know though for a couple hours while you develop the photos.
Yeah, there'll be like DLC where you have to pay. You have to get like new SD cards because for some reason one tab's not working.
Yeah. There you go, film. See, yeah, it's a period piece. It's set in 1988.
Oh
yeah,
I like that. Actually.
Or there's a Polaroid attachment for your system, and it actually prints out the pictures, and you have to like.
You don't do that. You don't do that actually.
Everyone does though.
It
looks cool.
Yeah. That'll fuck up your pictures.
That's how I make pictures.
So Mike, you're the only one who actually makes games at the table.
Yes.
What is the game you're making all these games right now? What's the game you want to make one day that you want to play?
Well, Darshell kind of stole that because I can't do it yet. But one of them was a Risk of Rain photography for dinosaurs sort of thing because I'm obsessed with dinosaurs, as you probably know by now.
I've seen some tweets.
Yes. Have you seen my tattoos?
I have not seen tattoos. Take off your jacket.
It's a dinosaur.
Those
sleeve.
pants look pretty tight
It's
too.
a dinosaur
Just don't take
sleeve,
Right?
aka the best sleeve. Holy shit!
There's T-Rexes and raptors.
Yeah, that's
and-
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, think of it as Risk of Rain, but you're surviving but trying to document these dinosaurs. So like, you would unlock new lenses and stuff and try to photograph them from a distance, but someone would catch your scent and chase you, and it's just survive and get photos of dinosaurs. That's sort of like my piece that no one will buy because no one wants to play that game. Like 10 people will.
No, more people
play
play
it.
that. You
We'll
said
play
that.
it.
They're
Got
gonna-
you.
no, I'll play
Bring
it.
it.
They'll
Alright.
fucking love
This
that.
table will love this game, and
Yeah.
everyone else will be like, whatever.
It's just get it out. Like you're talking about a game. It sounds like Africa. Remember Africa, Colin?
Oh my god!
Just
gonna
get
forget about
Africa out quicker. That's all you had to do. Africa's thing is they just talked about it for too long. It was
Yeah.
gone. Then it came out. It wasn't
Yeah.
that great.
Trophies are really hard too.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
big problem.
So-
Make sure
so-
your trophies are easier.
Yeah. Okay. So that was my pie in the sky, but now I think a proper co-op Dark Souls would be awesome because the game is great, the challenge is great, everything about it is so well done, and it's like a NES game modernized in my opinion. But it misses. Anything is better with co-op. I prefer every game to have co-op if possible.
And the last one had co-op, or no, Bloodborne did, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
but it's so like they can join.
so
your
what does
games
that
a
mean?
little
Yeah,
bit.
what does that mean?
I think
proper for
a
you?
proper co-op would be a way that the game scales based on who's in it, and you could pull like it'd be like if WoW dungeons weren't just like playing WoW, like clicking your spell rotation. It would be a proper like, oh dodge, the aggro's on you, it's my turn to go in, and it doesn't
Gotcha.
end when the boss fight's over. You actually like quest together, and yeah, I really think that would be fun.
So in your head, is that pie in the sky, or do you feel like you're on the way to one day doing?
Well,
that?
I don't do 3D, so that's probably not going to happen.
But
My
one
books-
day maybe you will.
Yeah, if my game career blows
Yeah.
up, it's one of the things I would like to make. Like recently, I had a concept called Shoulders of Giants, and it was everyone lived on top of this magical giant, like an earth golem of sorts. And
Sure.
you play like Harvest Moon, where you have this farm and you harvest stuff, and you get to these floating islands, and you would leave, and there'd be other people there trying to get resources, and you'd fight them. And that's something I really want to build. And then Unreal launched their last game jam, and it was called Shoulders of Giants. So I was just like,
On the shoulders of giants.
abandoned.
God damn.
Yeah.
You're like, oh,
I abandoned
now
that
there's 500
idea.
of those games.
Yeah,
So.
so now I'm sitting on a few concepts I really want to make, like a co-op roguelike is one of them.
Gotcha.
A beat 'em up featuring dinosaurs.
Good.
What's another one? Dungeons and Dodgeball. Do you remember the Super Dodgeball games on Super
Yes.
Nintendo?
Yeah.
That, but as a dungeon crawler. So you'd run around and like the only thing you have to attack, even with co-op, is one dodgeball. So you're like passing in midair and throwing, and these combos would hurt enemies. And yeah,
That's actually a really nice idea.
Yeah.
I like that.
See, it's funny because his ideas might actually happen one day.
Yeah.
Well,
I was
Yeah,
sorry.
I think-
yeah, that's one of the ones I'm sitting on. So we'll see.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's it like, I guess, right now being a game developer? Like you work at a smaller studio, you make smaller games and stuff.
Yeah.
Are you happy doing that? Do you want, like you said, I don't do 3D. Do you see yourself one day wanting to go work at like a Ubisoft or something like that?
Right now, I am.
Don't answer for him. Don't be shit.
Sorry.
Over there.
I'm very opinionated.
Right now, I really
Sorry.
enjoy what I'm doing, which is it's exhausting. Like I do 16-hour days constantly. I'm sure you guys know how that feels. Yeah,
It's fun.
I love it. So it's not draining yet. I think after like 3 or 4 games, I might want to like tone it down and maybe get another person on board to help offset the workload a little
Yeah.
bit. But I still want to remain in creative control because I like the pie in the sky aspect of game design. When it's a fresh idea and you're tossing around all these like fun, cool things, that's the best part of game design. When you're in the middle of production and you're cranking out boss assets, it's
Yeah.
not as much fun.
Yeah.
It's not glamorous. Like the best parts of game design is the start and then the end, and the end is followed by this weird like, what do I do with my life now? You're just-
Sure.
You're watching your Steam sales like that's not as much as I wanted, and that's
Yeah.
that's indie game dev right now, is hoping you break even. Really.
So why do you keep coming back?
Because I love it.
Okay.
I absolutely love game design from start to finish, except for the grindy parts. Where it would be nice
So
to
not
have.
from start to finish.
Yeah.
I love to start and finish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. It would be nice to have someone just like to help with the extra load of like reproducing the same assets but shifted slightly.
Yeah. So maybe one day you'll do 3D. Maybe one
Yeah.
day you'll have a studio and people working under you. But as long as you can be creative director or have input into, if your games
She's good
in
at
your
paraphrasing
studio.
what I mean.
This
Yeah,
is
so
why you
this
guys
is what you
work.
want.
This is why you guys work.
Yeah. So yeah, I love where I am right now. If there's room to grow in the future, I would love to. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
My concepts know no bounds in 2D, 3D, or 4D even.
I like that. I'm with you on that.
Right.
There's a lot of haters out there. They're stupid. They obviously haven't been to Disneyland.
No.
Disneyland does 4D correctly.
I don't even know what the hell. What is, how do we get there? And what is 4D?
Take a walk
4D,
through
it's
time.
like 3D, but with more Ds.
Well, the fourth dimension is time.
You lose all track of it at Disneyland.
I mean, technically, Braid would be a 4D game, wouldn't it?
I guess so, right?
Wait, what?
Braid would be a 4D game, wouldn't it?
Well, the 4D. It's just water being shot at you and shit.
Oh, right.
And smells and stuff.
Yeah, and smells.
Is that cruising California or whatever?
soaring over California?
I did that one.
Good.
You'd be happy. I did that
I am
one.
happy. It's
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
And they push like evergreen smells at you. I'm like, oh,
I've
it's
never
a
been
tree.
to Disneyland.
You're not missing anything. Don't worry about it.
Oh God! I just went next week. I'm gonna make a topic. That's my review of Disneyland 2015. Spoilers: 10 out of 10.
You want to tell everybody why you're not doing it this week?
I'm not doing it this week because Nick's not here, and the last thing I wanted to do was spend 15 to 20 minutes talking to Greg and Colin about Disneyland, how excited I am, and have them just fucking just nosedive the topic into being the worst thing ever. At least Nick will give me the like bullshit pretending he likes happiness. You guys won't give me that luxury.
I will tear Disneyland apart.
Unless
at every
Disneyland
turn.
is on Vita.
Yeah,
There you
exactly.
go.
That's the biggest issue. There was that Connect game, and you're like,
Yeah. I even gave Disney Infinity a chance on Vita.
Oh my God.
Wasn't that
You're
great?
so funny.
I try.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I want you all to know that you're all a bunch of haters because you all had ideas that were just like other games you've played before that have changed. But I'm the one who got
But
stabbed
we
about
fleshed
it.
them out.
I got stabbed. Nobody told me they
I
wanted
want
that.
a football game.
here's what I want.
I want a wrestling
I want
game.
I want like a
games
Fire
on
Pro
Vita.
Wrestling where I can name all the characters and do all the stuff. I want to be able to create them all there. I want to be able to create my own rings. You know what I mean? But I don't need it to be fancy graphics.
All right, name the third one on your list. You didn't talk about the third game on your
what else
list.
is
Oh,
on
that's not for this wasn't for this topic. That's just a list I have on there.
Freedom Wars 2.
Yeah.
And then the fourth one was a Patapon collection.
Yeah. I didn't name those because that's not making a game. That's not making a game. All right.
What
Don't
about
worry
a
about it.
wrestling manager game?
That'd be
Like
awesome
a more
as well.
top down.
Yes, they
sort of
tried to do that, I
experience.
believe, on iPhone, and it wasn't that great. Somebody
it's a
needs
mobile
to
game.
Exactly.
Management- yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
All right, there we go. Huh?
You
can
Fuck
agree on
you,
this.
mobile games.
Yeah.
Stop making them. Put sticks on them and trophies.
I love
Oh,
management games a lot. I
Yeah.
play a little bit of the Hockey Manager on Steam, but NFL Head Coach on PS2 was awesome. They only made one of them. That game was fucking awesome. They just took the GM mode and just put it on its own disc. It was great. But no one bought it. You see what I'm saying, Kevin?
But it's still there for
wanna
Madden
play,
if you wanna
They
play
want
that
to play
one.
a little gridiron. Yeah, but it's not as deep.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's not as deep. People like that Soccer Manager too.
Yeah.
Football Manager, as they call it.
They do
over
call
else.
it football.
All right.